everyone, good afternoon, good evening. It's about 5 p.m. It's the 19th of January 2021. I'm going to do something just a little out of the ordinary. I'm going to take a look at the S&P 500 and I'm going to take a look at the performance under US presidents. There's a lot of question in the market. For instance, are we going to go through a massive correction once Biden becomes president? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Let's just take a look at things and just see what the market looks like. See what this all looks like under different varying presidents. So before I get any of this, it's not financial advice. It's really just for educational purposes, maybe even a little bit of entertainment here. Along with that financial disclaimer, you need to manage your risk, manage your trades. I'm not going to be using this video to recommend any buys or sells. I'm just really going to be taking a look at the market under a U.S. president, and just to kind of see, should we be afraid? Would it be okay? Should we continue to be complacent with the uptrending market? And that's kind of where I'm going with this. So let's go ahead and take a look at the chart. So first off, looking here at this chart, a couple things that I do want to point out, and I'm going to take a look at this on a different chart as well. Here, actually, let me do this. Move over here, and we'll do SPX. Get it on here. All right. So let's take a look at this on the monthly chart. I've got a lot of different things on here, but actually, I'm going to go ahead and clear. I don't want to clear. I'm going to put this on log scale. What I want to focus on here is just the fact that we've got so much confluence with our low here back in 1876 to the high up here in 1929 to the low here. You can barely see, but it comes all the way back down here to about 477, down here to the 786. It just makes a whole lot of sense. And then of course we have more data that starts to appear after 1950. And as we zoom in, we can see big corrections, correction, a nice expanding diagonal here. This really worked out pretty well. What the point I'm trying to make here is that it is very, very possible for major corrections to happen in a market when people are complacent, okay? And this is a really great example, all right? Another area where we saw a significant correction is going to be this guy right here. This was a huge, huge correction. And what I want to take a look at is, when did these corrections occur and under what type of leadership did these corrections occur in? All right. So I know I'm going to keep these dotted lines on here because they do have some significance to me based on the last day of a calendar year. These are their year ending dates. You'll notice that these are December of 2020, December of 2019, so on and so forth, December 1st of all of these years. But anyway, what kind of leadership were we in when these major corrections occurred? And what kind of fear factor should we have as we're taking a look at this? So the first one that I want to take a look at here is this major correction that occurred that started in 1965. Big correction that lasted all the way to 1974. So 1965, January 20th, 1965 was when Richard Nixon took over. From 1969 through this would be August 8th, 1974. All right, so let's just put this in here. So again, we're taking a look at Richard Nixon from January 20th, 1969, which was going to be about this top right here all the way through August 9th, 1974. About right here. Okay, and you could tell that we had a good move down here. The market lost 35%, and this is going to be under. Let me just pull this up here. This is going to be under Richard Nixon. All right, so Richard Nixon was under the Republican Party. So under Republican leadership, the market went down. Let's keep that in mind. Big correction, Republican leadership, market went down. All right, another major correction occurred right here, starting in February of the year 2000. All right, so we know that George Bush took um, the presidency on January 20th, 2001. All right, so January 20th, 2001 is kind of when we were starting to see a little bit of a pullback. So it was about right here. And I'm going to go to another chart to make this a little bit easier to see. But this correction lasted a while. So remember, big correction, down, up, down under Republican leadership. Now what I'd like to do is I'd like to go to a 3-day chart. And I'm going to go to my other chart that I've already got this laid out over here. Let's just watch this. So under Clinton, from the beginning here in 1993 to his completion at the end of 2001, the market went up 211%. George Bush, down, up, down. Same as Nixon, down, up, down. All right. Big difference here is, we were kind of in an expanding diagonal when we were taking a look at Nixon. And again, that was looking all the way back here where we had down, up, down, up, down. Okay, again, down, up, down. A, B, C. This was the correction of the duration, basically, of Richard Nixon. And what did we have when George Bush was president? Same thing. A, B, C. Exact same thing. And the way that I've got this laid out, let's look at a weekly here for a moment. I've been taking a look at this as a 1, down, up, down, 2. 3, down, up, down, 4. And we are working on finishing this wave 5. I believe that George Bush, his presidency was down 37%. He was president during a major correction. Also, during the same time, we had 9/11. He inherited a lot. But one way or another, that correction was already underway. That correction already started in March, April, May of 2000 before Bush became president. And yes, 9/11 happened, but look at what happened. The market started to recover and then went down again to finish the correction. This is why I don't care too much about news. I don't care too much about news because it just clutters your mind. We went through a correction, and as far as Elliott wave is concerned, it made sense. It made a lot of sense that we went through this correction. We needed this correction. So now, what are we doing? We're finishing this move, and I actually believe that from right here, we had our down, up, down under this Republican leadership. I believe that already completed because again, these are things that we see frequently under Republican leadership. A, B, C. Finish the correction and then continue moving up. And in this case, and in many cases, parties flip, parties switch. We go from Democrat to Republican to Democrat to Republican, and we are now electing a Democrat. So what is going to happen next? All right, well, obviously this correction happened much, much quicker. It was accelerated because of the pandemic. Do I think that we are going to just fall after Joe Biden takes office? No, actually I don't. I actually believe that Joe Biden is going to have a good beginning. We're going to have to see what happens. But again, this is me taking a look at this from this low down here. And I believe I counted 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 1, 2. All right, so this is what I think we're in the middle of right now. So let's just put this right here, a nice 1, 2. We can call this a 3, 4, 5. All right, which would be a 1, 2, and then potentially 3, 4, 5. We'll see how long this guy takes. But what I can do here is take a look at this. I'm going to go back to a weekly time frame here for a moment. I'm going to measure this wave 3 that I've got on here. So I've got this wave 3 on here. Wave 3. So we'll measure this guy. We came down what appears to come down to the 236, and that's exactly where we came down to. So we went from bottom of wave 2 to the top of wave 3. Wave 3 ended with a Democrat leader. We had our correction as with our Republican leader. Then we went to Democrat and it went up. We have our correction under Republican leadership. Again, this is kind of for entertainment, but you can see where I'm getting this from. Our target to the upside technically was up here at 33.61, which of course we are higher than that right now. So let me just go ahead and zoom back out just a little bit here. I've got this pulling from the start of 1950. We've got our 1, we've got our 2. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to measure wave 1 and I'm going to take it from the bottom of wave 4 and see where this takes us to. So to the bottom of wave 4, our 100% is sitting at 46.10. We're at 3,800 right now. So what is that going to mean for move to the upside? Keeping in mind, we're taking a look how much upside still exists, potentially another 20 to 21% in the market. So 1, 2, potentially putting in our 3 here pretty soon, go down for the wave 4, and then wave 5. Let's watch and see what happens at 4,600. Could take some time. It could take a year or more to get there. But my guess is when Joe Biden is done with his term, I think we're actually going to find ourselves up here at this 4,600 mark. We'll have to wait and see if he's going to get returns like Obama did, if he's going to get returns like Bill Clinton did. We're going to have to wait and see what happens there. One way or another, we have lots of green under Clinton, we've got red under Bush. Lots of green under Obama, a little bit of green under Trump. Are we going to continue this trend where Democrat leadership gets really, really great gains and Republican leadership gets mediocre gains? Or is this going to be a case where maybe this is the end of that trend and we're going to start flipping? One way or another, I'm watching to see what happens up here because obviously we have already passed through our barrier, which was at 21.99. We've already passed through a barrier which was at 27.47. The next logical area to watch is going to be at 4,600. Watch 4,600. It could take weeks, months, maybe even a year or two to get there. We may have a complex correction coming, and a lot of people are kind of waiting for that. So we'll have to wait and see what happens. But it is also of my opinion that printing money, doing stimulus, and all of these things lead to an increased monetary supply, which means the stock market more than likely is going to go up. And I've said this in numerous videos in the past. Stock market will go up, and currently I believe it's going up not because companies are worth more, but I think it's because your dollar is worth less. 2 words, worth less. Not worthless, worth less. Be back. I will take a look at Ethereum in a separate video. I want to keep this surrounding the S&P 500, focusing around presidents. So this is what I think is more than likely what's going to end up happening. I do think that we will get a bit of a pullback, but I think ultimately Joe Biden will provide us a vision up to this 4,600 mark. But I think that it is also very possible that we do see a pullback before that happens. But I don't believe, right? Okay, hear me out here. I don't believe that we are going to see prices come back down to these levels anytime soon. It's possible, and I will be adaptive to the market if that is what happens. But I don't think that that we need to be worried about huge crashes. Okay, so that's what I've got here. I think ultimately we are going to be going up to finish up this wave 3, pull back for the 4, and then we go up for the 5. Again, could take weeks, could take months, could take years. But I don't think that we're going to come back down and retest these areas because, again, I think that ship has come and gone. I think the ship has come and gone for these types of gains. I think that we've got our expanding diagonal, which has already completed. Okay, I think this has come and gone. I don't think you will be able to take advantage of anything like this in the near future. It may not happen for another 20 years, 25 years. And by then, you will probably have forgotten what an expanding diagonal is because a lot of us forgot what it was when this happened. But you can just go back and take a look at the history. I've got it over on the other chart, but it happened under Nixon, the same thing, and it happened under Trump. All right, guys, that's kind of what I've got right now. It's a little off the cuff, a little unorthodox, but this is what I'm watching here. Again, I still see some more upside. I still think we can go up higher. Remind yourself to come back and watch this video in 4 years and see if it has aged well or if it has aged poorly. All right. Well, if this video did help in any way, shape, or form, as you all know, like, subscribe, share, all that good stuff, and of course, wherever you're on the world, I hope you're having a good day.